All right, how's it going, everybody? So now we're going to start our next workshop. It is going to be building TwilioQuest extensions in JavaScript, hosted by Avinash. So go ahead, take it away, Avinash. We're really looking forward to this.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Avinash. I'm from India. I work at Deloitte. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can build your own custom content in TwilioQuest. But before that, I'm going to introduce you to what TwilioQuest is and how you can use it to learn coding. Even if you've no experience with programming or coding, you're welcome to stay for the first few minutes where I'll introduce you to TwilioQuest and how you can use TwilioQuest or play TwilioQuest to learn coding. So if you have friends who are new to coding, please invite them to this workshop. So let's get started. So before we start, let me just introduce what TwilioQuest is first, right? So TwilioQuest is an RPG game by the team at Twilio for their educational content. So it is it is a game where you play and learn coding along the way. So rather than me explaining it, let me just actually show you by playing it. But before that, let me show you how you can download the game. Let me open up my browser. I hope my browser is visible. Also, if you have any questions at all during the workshop, please put it on in the Discord in the workshop questions channel. I actually have it open in the other monitor over here, so I'm going to be watching that. And let's download TwilioQuest. Let me show you how you can download TwilioQuest. So you just go to twilio.com/quest. So let me open it up. Yeah. So this I'll also share all the links that I'm referring to during this workshop later on Discord. I'll just find a channel and then post it as a GitHub gist. So you'll be able to find all the links in a single place. So twilio.com/quest. If you go over there, you can download TwilioQuest. It is a cross-platform application. So if you're using any operating system, Mac, Windows, Linux, you'll be able to run it. So I actually already have it downloaded and installed. It's a straightforward process. So I'm not going to walk you through that. So once you've downloaded it, you can open up the launcher. So this is the TwilioQuest launcher and play TwilioQuest. That is it. Let's give it a couple of moments to load it. Meanwhile, all right, so it's loaded up. So now press space bar to start, as it suggests. So this is the interface, or this is the game Twilio has designed, the TwilioQuest game. So you're the character in the red. You can move around with your arrow keys or WASD, just like any other role-playing game. And you interact with objects using the space bar. So the prompt for you or the clue for you to interact with objects is the exclamation mark that appears when you when you are closer to an object that is interactable. So here, this is an interactable object. So you can press space and a new console or a new view pops up. Here are the missions or the challenges that you can take with TwilioQuest. Before that, let me introduce you to the NPC, the non-playing character over here. This is Cedric, the main NPC in TwilioQuest. So you can just have a conversation with Cedric about what TwilioQuest is, what do you need to do. All of it is explained in the game. So it's pretty beginner friendly. So if you're new to programming, you can use this game to learn programming. I'm going to walk you through that. So this is the once you loaded up the game, you need to come over to this console over here and press spacebar. So you'll find all the different missions that TwilioQuest offers. So I'd suggest you start with the basic training. I've actually completed a bunch of this, so it shows 100%. But I suggest you start with this basic training. So it'll help you familiarize with the game and how you can play the game. I'm going to actually show you a mission that I've actually never worked before. So I'm going to open up the PHP one. So this is the PHP mission. It looks like every other mission looks a bit similar, but the map is a little bit different. So here's an interactable component. I press space and then I can interact with that. There's a conversation that I can do. Here are the objectives, the main objectives of the game. That is, you need to complete a bunch of objectives to complete this game. So earlier in the console, you saw the my basic training was 100%. They were my other few missions were a certain percentage. So you need to complete these missions to get that percentage. So if I press space bar, it opens up this console. Here, it gives you the instruction as to how you can pass this said mission. So to proceed forward, you need to install PHP. I actually don't have PHP installed in my machine, so I'm not going to be able to complete this. But if you look at the objective, it has a set of instructions that you need to complete. So in this, it is to install a PHP runtime. So in case you don't know how to install the PHP runtime, you can go to the help tab, and there's a complete instruction on or a complete walkthrough as to how you can install PHP and get the PHP path, which then you'll need to insert over here and click on hack. I'm going to just click on hack with a empty answer. So I did not enter a file path, so it failed. But if I actually enter the file path to the PHP executable on my machine, it would complete, and then this laser barrier would disappear, and I would be able to move forward with the game. So I hope the concept of how the game is played is pretty clear. If you have any questions at all, please put it in the Discord. I'm actually watching it all the time. And yeah, this is how you can learn programming using the game. There's a bunch of other objectives. There's the JavaScript one, there's the Python one, there is PHP, there's the CLI, and Git and GitHub, and a lot of other Twilio missions. So if you're new to Twilio, you can use this to learn Twilio and programming as well. In the basic training, you'll actually find some Twilio credits. As you go along, you'll find some Twilio credits that you can use to complete these missions. So if you don't have the Twilio credits, you can complete that mission and get some Twilio credits. So this is about the game. I'll actually exit this game for now and talk about the actual workshop topic, that is building your own custom content on TwilioQuest using TwilioQuest extensions. So this is actually the main game. So I'm going to exit this for now. And we've downloaded this, so we will no longer need this. Let's go to the extension docs. So it is at TwilioQuest, yeah, twilioquest.github.io/extension docs. TwilioQuest extensions are your own custom content that you can add to TwilioQuest. So here's the docs for that. Begin your adventure. Let me open up TwilioQuest once again, but in a different version. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. Did I click it right? Yes. Okay, so the launcher, and you press more over here in the bottom and go to the preview version. The extensions are currently in alpha, so they're going to be in the main game after Signal, that is in this month. In October, Twilio has the conference Signal. Um, you can sign up for a free pass for that as well. So yeah, the Twilio Quest extensions is going to be on the main game after Signal. Currently, it is still in alpha, so you can check to the preview branch and then click on Play TwilioQuest. Let's give it a couple of moments to load it up. In the meanwhile, let's go through the docs. So there's actually a video walkthrough by the Twilio team that you can watch to get started. I'm going to be covering most of the same content in this workshop. And yeah, whatever I'm covering in this workshop, most of it is documented in this website. So you can go through as a text format, but I'm going to be covering it in this workshop as well. So this is the Foggle. Our Foggle is the landing view of the game. So this is the Foggle for the extension or the preview content. There's once again, there are different NPCs over here that you can interact with. Let's get to the extensions that we're going to be building. So the first thing is you're going to need to go to settings over here, at the top, and go to extensions and enable extensions. So it'll be disabled by default. You need to enable the extensions, and you're going to need an extension. You're going to need your own extensions. For that, we're going to create our own extension using the template provided by the TwilioQuest team. So let me find that github.com/. Yeah, so github.com/TwilioQuest extension template. So this is the template that we're going to be using to build our own TwilioQuest content. And you can use use this template button from GitHub and create your own repository using that template by TwilioQuest. I'm going to name this TwilioQuest sunhacks and create a repository from this template. Oops. Right. Just give it a minute for it to load. Yeah, so we have our own extension template ready. So this using this template we can add or edit the template. Let me open up my terminal, and for this you're going to need an empty directory. You can use whatever operating system you're using because TwilioQuest runs on most operating systems. And get into TwilioQuest. Yeah, I have an empty directory, TwilioQuest. There's nothing inside this. So you're going to need a empty parent directory instead for all your extensions, so that you can add multiple extensions and use this parent directory as the extension source for TwilioQuest. So I'm going to clone the repository that I just created using the template. While that clones, let me get back to TwilioQuest over here. And here the extension directory. This is the parent directory that I mentioned. That is, you need an empty directory where all the extensions are going to fit in. So just go to choose directory and then choose the parent directory that you cloned your repository in, and choose the directory. There are okay, it's still loading. Let me just come back. Okay, once once the repository is cloned and you've enabled the extensions in the settings and also configured the extension directory, you should be able to see the extension that you just loaded in the loaded extensions section. So we have the TwilioQuest sunhacks loaded over here. So let's close that and get to this console over here. In the main TwilioQuest game, the console was a little different. Over here, this is the console. Okay, we're not able to see the machine that we just loaded. So is what I'm gonna do. There's sometimes you might need to restart TwilioQuest once you added new things, or you've modified a few of the things. So in this case, I'm gonna restart TwilioQuest. There's actually a better way to restart TwilioQuest. That is, you can have an auto reloader inside the developer tools, but I'm not gonna like put in too much information. Included all kinds of all possible examples for building an extension in this template. You can either remove everything and start from scratch, or modify this existing template for your own content. And yeah, before that, let me just check. All right, we have the extension setup. Now let me open up the extension code in a text editor. Oh, okay, I'm going to open it up on Visual Studio Code. You can use any kind of text editor. It's plain JavaScript, so you should be able to use any text editor. I'm going to walk you through how you can edit this map and make changes to this map as well. But first, let's try changing the content or the name of the mission, or whatever. There are two objectives. Okay, let me just walk through the objectives. So there's one objective over here. There's a chest objective, and there is a laser barrier objective over here. So there are two objectives in this template. So let's start with the chest objective. So I interact with it using the space bar. Just like we saw with the main TwilioQuest content, there's the overview tab, there's the objective view tab, and the help tab. So you can actually modify this and have your own mission. This is the template that is provided by the team. So what is the name of the company that makes TwilioQuest? You can provide your answer over here, Twilio, and what is 2 + 2 4. But before I give the right answers, I'm going to give the wrong answers and show you how you can do validations. So the entire objective of this, the entire purpose of this workshop is to show you how you can build your own content. So if you want to teach, say you want to teach some new programming language to your friends or anybody at college, so you can use this to build your own content and then try to teach through this game. And we have it open in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to walk you through the directory structure of the extension template. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the levels. So there is the VR mission template that we saw earlier that when we loaded up the mission. Let me go back to the Foggle. Foggle is the landing page of the TwilioQuest game, like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so we're going to go to console. Here it says VR mission template. So that is the VR mission template that is under the levels directory. Here, each level has a configuration level.json. That is the main configuration. So here's the name of the template. Let me edit this to say sunhacks and whatever. This is an example. I'm just editing this to show that whatever is changed over here is reflected on the game. So you can create your own missions through this. I'm going to name this sunhacks as well and click on save. Let me see if that loaded up over here. Nope. Okay, let me restart TwilioQuest once again. So there are few high-level changes that require a restart of the TwilioQuest game, but most changes should not require a restart. Just make sure whenever you're restarting, you click on the preview branch and then go to play TwilioQuest. While that loads, I'm going to continue the directory walkthrough. So each level is under the levels directory with a directory for each level, and the level.json is the main configuration for that level. And there's the conversations. I'm going to go through the conversations as we interact with the NPCs. So there was an NPC called Cedric that we interacted with earlier. So you can define the conversations for that NPC under conversations. And there's the objectives. So the objective is the two objectives that we saw. That is the chest objective and the laser barrier objective. So there are two objectives under objectives, the example objective and example objective 2. I'm going to show you how this links with the game when we're editing the map. That will make more sense then. Let me start it up. Okay, let's go to the console. Yeah, sunhacks. And also the description is also sunhacks. Description is also sunhacks. So whatever changes that we made in the level.json is reflected over here. Similarly, you can have multiple such levels. That is, there's just one over here. You can have multiple by creating another extension template or adding more to the levels.json levels directory. And we went over how you can change that. And let's launch mission. And let's go over how you can change the objectives. So like I mentioned, there are two objectives in this particular template. The first one is the chest objective. So here the name is example objective. Let me change that and show you how you can change that. So example under objectives, under the example objective directory, there is the objective.json. This is the main configuration for the objective. Just like with how with each level, the level.json was the main configuration. Here the objective.json is the main configuration. So let me edit this to, I don't know, I can just think of sunhacks for everything. Not example. So, and you can also use some kind of formatting with the HTML tags over here. And there are two questions asked over here. So there are two validation fields. That is, what is the name of the company that makes TwilioQuest? and what is the name of the company that makes TwilioQuest. So similarly, you can have multiple other questions. Let me just add another question and name this answer 3. You can give this any name. We're going to be using this whatever name that we refer over here in our validator.js. That is where we'll do the actual validation. So whatever answer that we type over here, we're going to validate in validator.js. So answer 3, and what is the event we are attending right now? Okay, let me click on save. And after completing each objective, you can set a bunch of rewards that you can give. That is, for example, you can give XP, or if you've gone through the basic training, you will notice that there are a bunch of collectible items that you get as you complete missions. So you can add that as well over here. So for now, let's keep it at 100 XP, and let's see if that change reflected over here. Yep. So it did really reflect over here. So there's 3 questions now instead of 2 questions. So what is the event that we are attending right now is another question that we just added. And there's also the placeholder and the type you can change. So that's it for editing the questions of our objective. Let's go over how you can edit the overview, objective, and help. So the description.md, it's a markdown file. So this contains whatever is under the objective tab. So in the objective tab, what you would generally put is an overview of what the mission is what is expected out of the mission. And in the help tab, you put a complete description or a complete walkthrough about how you could complete this mission, complete this objective, sorry. So in the objective tab, it's a markdown. So here is the markdown that corresponds to the example objective that we're looking at. I can make some changes over here as well. Code samples are very helpful. Let me just add const, I don't know, gibberish is called gibberish, and save. Let's go back to that and go back to objective. So here's the change that I made. So it is, if you're familiar with Markdown, you can use Markdown to uh, write this objective as well. Similarly, with the help tab, that would be in the walkthrough.md. So whatever you put in the walkthrough.md shows up in the help tab. This is where you would put a complete description of how you would complete this mission. And so that is it. Let's go over validators. I know this might seem like I'm putting a lot of information right now, but you can obviously watch this recording if available, or watch the one on the TwilioQuest extension docs. They have a pretty good walkthrough. You can watch that and create your own extensions. So the pretty cool part about this is the editing the map, which you're going to go over later. So let's complete the validation. So the validator.js has the validation code that you're going to be using to validate the answers that are provided in the objective. Here, there's an external dependency that is required. That is, there is a dependency lambda. So this shows that you can use any kind of external dependencies to check your code. And here's the main function that is being exported. If you're familiar with JavaScript, this should be pretty straightforward. So we're going to be using, this is the main content that you're going to be writing in JavaScript. Rest of it is just Markdown or JSON. So the helper variable has answer 1 and answer 2. That is the 2 answers that we provided with the objective. I actually added another one, so I can call that as well, answer 3. Answer 3. So here there's a validation. It's checking whether the answer 1 is Twilio. Twilio is actually another helper method that is defined in the lib directory. This is once again an example to show you that you can write code in a certain way, but you can obviously have a simple check over here whether answer is equal to Twilio. And if it is not, if there's no answer, or if the answer is not equal to Twilio, then the helper.fail method is called, and with the prompt that will be displayed if in case the answer is wrong. And similarly for the second question, it checks whether the given answer is equal to 2 plus 2. If not, appropriate error message is displayed. And finally, if neither of them failed, that is, if the answer 1 is correct and answer 2 is correct, then the helper.success function is called with a success message. So let's see how we can, oops, let's see how we can complete that over here. So let's go over here. So what is the name of the company? Let me give a wrong, answer. Hmm, Twilio. Okay, Twilio works. And what is 4 plus 2 plus 2? 5. And click on hack. The other one is not mandatory because I've not added a validation for that. Okay, I see the reason why this did not work. It's still in hacking because we have an external dependency defined in our package.json, Ramda. I forgot to install that when we set up our web extension. So let me navigate into actually inside the TwilioQuest folder. Okay, I'm going to do npm install. So if you can use external dependencies and then just do npm install and use them in your validator.js to do your validation. Okay, in the meanwhile, I think I'll have to restart TwilioQuest because I kind of broke it by not installing the dependency. My bad. More and switch over to the preview version. Let's get started. Okay, the dependency is installed. Now let's see how the validation works. Once again, please let me know if I'm going too fast or I'm covering a lot of details that are not making sense to you. I can slow down and then try to explain them in a better way. Or you can reach out to me after the workshop. I'm going to be on the Discord. Please reach out to me if you need any kind of help getting started with TwilioQuest or building such extensions. I'm happy to help. So let's go to the objective that we were talking about earlier. Let's go to the chest. So what is the name of the company? It's Twilio, and 2 plus 2 is 5. Okay, it failed. And the answer to the first question is this error message is what we defined in the validator.js when the answer did not match with the Twilio answer. And similarly, if I give a wrong, if I give this right and give the second one wrong, it's going to show up the error message for the second one. What is 2 plus 2 is not right. So I'm going to give this the right answer for, and I click on hack. So generally, when you're building such objectives, you want to make sure your error message is as descriptive as possible so that the person playing the game can fix it pretty easily. So we've completed both of them. The third one was not mandatory because I did not add a validation for that in validator.js. So the objective is cleared and we got 100 XP as defined in the objective.json file. Now let's click on done. Now the the chest is open. Similarly, the same thing applies to this as well. This objective, I interact with this and then it shows same set of questions because that is how it is defined in the code. You can obviously change this. And now let's go over editing the maps because that's fun, right? So for editing the map, you're going to need a map editor. It's called Tiled. So I'm going to search for that download Tiled. Okay, I already have it in my history. It's mapeditor.org/download.html, and you download the latest release of Tiled. Just download. I already have it downloaded and installed. You can just either contribute to the developer or download it for free. It's an open source editor. I'm going to open up my Tiled. Okay. Okay. So once you've opened up Tiled, you're going to want to open file and then navigate to the directory where we cloned the template. So yeah, where we cloned the template. So where is it? So projects, TwilioQuest, and TwilioQuest sunhacks is the extension directory. Over here, you're going to want to navigate into levels, and under levels, we're currently dealing with the VR machine template. So under VR machine template, there's a directory called maps, and under maps, there are actually two maps, but the default one is the one that is loaded up when you launch into the mission. So you're going to want to open up the default.json. It's actually a JSON file, but you cannot edit it using any other editor because it will not make much sense. So here's the map opened up in tiled. It is very similar to the map that we get when we open up the machine template in the game. Let's go over the different layers that are in the map. So there's the collision layer. That is where you define all the collisions with the map. So if you have no collisions, then the player will be able to walk over all over the place. But if you notice over here, the player cannot go outside this right side boundary. That is because there's a collision layer applied over there. So it's currently hidden. Let me try to zoom this entire thing so that it's visible. Okay, that is zooming in. Okay. Anyways, so there's an icon over here. If you click on that, you'll be able to view all the collision layer that is placed. There's the purple layer that is the collision layer that is placed. Let me hide that. Then is the top layer. So top layer is where suppose you're having a tree and you want the top of the tree in a top layer so that the player can go under the tree. So that is why the top layer is used. And this is the object layer. This is the main layer where you place all the objects. That is your different NPCs, your chest, the laser barrier, the console, and every main object is placed in the objects layer. Anything that you would interact with or has an effect on the game is placed in the objects layer. And there are two decoration layers that you can use to decorate the map. And then there's the base layer, that is the bottommost layer where you would place maybe the ground or the tiles in the map. Okay, so that is how the layers work. And then now let's go over the objectives that we placed. So let's start with the chest. So if I click on chest, on the left side, you can see a bunch of properties for the object. So the first thing that we're going to notice is the hackable is clicked on check. So this means that whenever the hackable property is enabled, so when the player gets close to it, an exclamation mark shows up. So that it means that the player can interact with it using the space bar. And the next one is the objective name. That is the example objective. So is the value that is set to it. So this should match with what this objective name value should match whatever is the directory name in the objectives folder. So in the objectives folder, we have a directory called example objective that should match with the objective name over here. Makes sense, right? So that is how these two are connected. Similarly, with the other objective, the terminal, there's example objective 2, and we have another example objective 2 under our objectives directory. So that's how the objectives are linked. And another thing that I missed is in the level.json, make sure you define all the objectives that you have under that level. So there's the example objective and example objective 2 defined in this objectives array under in the level.json file. Okay, for some reason. Okay. And the next thing that we're going to want to look at is the NPCs, or let's look at how you can add some tiles on the map, right? So let me go to the decoration layer. TwilioQuest actually comes with a bunch of pre-built or a lot of tiles that come with the map. So there's a huge selection that you can use. There's different kinds of map for everything. There's different kinds of tiles for everything that you want to do. Let me add a tree. Okay. You get the idea, right? So I'm trying to add a tree using the tiles that are provided by TwilioQuest. Or let me make this easier by adding a simple grass somewhere. Okay. Yeah, so this is how you edit the map. Sounds fun, right? Make sure you save the file once you've edited the map by you can just like any text editor, there's going to be a asterisk next to the file name. Press Ctrl S or go to file and save before you try to see the changes over here. Let me go back to the fog hole. There's an option over here that helps me go back to the fog hole. Let's go back to the mission and see if that has edited. See, if you notice now, there's a 50% marker over here because we completed one of the objectives among the two that were in the template. So the first one that we completed was the chest mission. We completed that, so it's 50%. Yep. So the map has changed, and there's this tree that we added as a decoration. So it was in the wrong layer, and there's no collision placed on it. So that's why I'm able to walk all over the tree, half tree. And here's the new grass layer that we added. So that's how you can edit the map. There's a lot of tiles that you can use, and TwilioQuest objects. You can have the different kinds of chests, the laser barriers, there's fire. If you do the open source mission in the main TwilioQuest game, you'll unlock the fire power that you can use with this as well. And there's a bunch of NPCs. Now let's take a look at NPCs. Let me go back to the objects layer. So NPCs, there are a bunch of NPCs that are placed in this template. Each NPC has a certain property that the TwilioQuest team wants to demonstrate. So let's take a look at Cedric, the main NPC. So if you look at the custom properties over here, there's the conversation property. Cedric default is the conversation property, and there's the conversation avatar and interactable. So that makes sure that you can interact with the NPC. And the sprite sheet is Cedric. Sprite sheet is if you know some game development, you'll know that sprite sheet is a bunch of PNG that defines how the character looks. So you don't have to worry about it if you're not into game development. There's already a bunch of NPCs that are provided, and you can find a lot of such NPCs and tile sets on the internet. So you don't have to create your own spreadsheet. You just need to link it with the name. So I'll show that how the conversation and the NPC links with the code. So in the code, there is a conversations directory. So here there's the static default.pug. So Pug is a templating language that is used to define the conversations in TwilioQuest. So in the map, the conversation property is set to Cedric default. That has to match with the Pug file under the conversations directory in the template code or in the extension code. So let's go over the Pug file. This is actually a bit complicated if you're new to it, but kind of straightforward once you're used to it. So there is the conversation. The display name is Cedric. Let me interact with the player to show you how it matches with it. Okay, so the display name is what comes under the avatar. So the display name is set to Cedric, and the statements are the statements that Cedric display once you interact with Cedric. Okay, yeah. Welcome aboard to the fog hole is what Cedric says when you interact with him. That is the statement default is set to welcome aboard to fog hole. You can also have it as a speech. I've actually muted the volume so audio, so you cannot actually hear him say welcome to the fog hole, but you can also have it as a speech. And then there is different statements defined. There's the statement Cedric, there's the statement final. Let's go over the responses. So for the default statement, there are where's the response? Okay, for the default statement, there are there's just one response. Who are you? So if you go back to the code, yeah, hello, who are you is the only response for the default statement. So if I click on that, for that response, hello, who are you? There is the statement Cedric that is called. So the statement Cedric is I am Cedric, your cloud navigational assistant. So that is what is being displayed over here. So it's similar to any programming language. That is, if you interact with a statement, there is a bunch of responses, and then each response has a statement linked to it. And here's a switch case kind of statement that checks for what response that was triggered. So who are you response triggers the statement Cedric, and that statement has a bunch of responses. Nice to meet you, and you seem nice. So that is what we see over here. Nice to meet you, and you seem nice. So this is the statement Cedric. So if I click on that, the statement And if I click on nice to meet you, that triggers the statement final. Let's go have a look at statement final. It says, thank you, now get exploring. So that is what is displayed over here. So I hope this makes sense. Uh, it is a bit tricky if you're new to Pug, but you get a hold of it as you're looking at it. Because, sorry, there's a bunch of examples with the other NPCs as well. So if you go through all of them, you should be able to make some sense out of it. Let's interact with another NPC. So here this NPC does not have the usual conversation window. That is because this has an observation property in the NPC. So let's go back to tiled and click on Corey. And there's an observation property that is set with statement. So that is what is displayed when you interact with that NPC. So once again, all of these are examples in the template to show you how you can have different kinds of say NPC conversations or different kind of objectives that you can do with the extension. This is once again a standard NPC. And here in this NPC, you can also have your own custom image for the NPC. So you place that under the images slash conversations directory, and you can have that image linked over here as well. So let me show that in the tiled map as well. So here's the conversation avatar. It's the ryan.jpg that you can find under images, conversations, and ryan.jpg. Yep. Oh, yep. So that is how you can define conversations. You can try to make these conversations as interactive or fun as possible while playing the game. If you play the main TwilioQuest game, you'll have an idea as to how such conversations are defined. And the next thing that I want to show you is yeah, the camera panning. This might be a little too advanced if you're new to TwilioQuest extensions. But if you notice, there's a globe object in the bottom left. So if I interact with that, the camera pans to the top right, and then it gets back after some time. So you can do that as well. So if I explore the globe object in the tiled map, it says interactable, and in the extension code, there's the objects directory, there's the globe uh, directory. Under that, there is the config and the icon. This might be a little too complicated if you're like new to JavaScript or new to TwilioQuest extensions, but I'm just going to cover it quickly. So there, it checks whether the player did interact, and then for it moves the camera to a viewpoint. The viewpoint is defined on the map over here. There's a terminal viewpoint that is defined over here. So the camera pans to that and gets back. So I'm not going to actually cover this and make it complicated. Um, so the next thing about TwilioQuest is it is an Electron application. So you can still open up the developer tools. If you go to help and then toggle developer tools. So just like with any browser, you get the developer tools. There's a bunch of stuff that is output to the console. Um, but in case you're developing extensions and you want to debug, you can always put them out to the console, and you can view what is going wrong. And all of this console output is coming from the events.json that is under levels, I believe. Yeah, events.js. So here is where all the console log is being put. So there is the event and the world objects that are exported by this function. And if you notice, whatever the player does, that is the conversation did end, player did interact. So whatever the player does, it is an event that is being logged over here. You can trigger different actions based on whatever is being done by the player. So if the player did interact with a certain property, you can do a certain action. So currently the two standard objectives are the chest and the terminal or the laser barrier. You can also have your own uh, object objective by having, say, a rock, and you interact with that rock, and then you check whether that player did interact with that rock, and then you make that rock disappear. So there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with that. And there's a lot of commands that you can run directly on the console that would help you move around TwilioQuest without having to walk all the way. But not going to cover that, unfortunately, because it's a introduction to TwilioQuest extensions and TwilioQuest in general. So if you're interested, please feel free to ping me on Discord or anywhere. I'm happy to show you around. And let me see if there are any questions. My other monitor actually turned off. So, okay, looks not. And yeah, so I'm going to be sharing all of the links that I showed, all of the links that I used in this workshop later as a GitHub gist. I want to show you another thing about TwilioQuest. That is, TwilioQuest has operations every month. So let me open that. So with the operation, once you join an operation and whatever XP that you earn through the while playing the game after you've joined the operation results in TwilioQuest team at TwilioQuest donating money to a charity. So this month it is they're donating to a, let me see what they're donating to. Every month is a different one. So they're donating to support Project Alloy. So let me show you how you can join an operation. So if you go to settings and operations, here you enter the operation code. So here the operation code is similar herself grade. This is completely random code that is generated. So you enter that code and any XP that you earned in this month or in the next month, okay, this month, October, sorry, any month, any XP that you earned in this month, for every 100 XP, TwilioQuest donates $1 to that cause. So pretty cool. If you're exploring TwilioQuest, please join that operation and help support that cause. And you can also sign up, I believe, somewhere. If you sign up, you give your address, they send you some stickers, this stuff like that as well. And also, if you need any kind of help, obviously you can ask me or join the Discord, TwilioQuest Discord. And what else? There's the Twilio forums as well. Join that. You can get help over there. And every Tuesday at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Pacific time, TwilioQuest goes live on Twitch. They're pretty fun streams over there. What else did I miss? I think I covered everything that I wanted to. I did a bit of a speed run. So if there's any questions or if you want me to explain anything in detail once again, I am happy to do that. I'm actually watching the Discord. I'm not sure if there are any questions on YouTube. So sorry about that. Let me just check my agenda to see if I've missed anything. If not, I think we're good to go. Yeah, pretty good. So we still have 10 minutes left. If there's anything that you want me to show, I'm happy to show that. Or let me see if I can walk through the code once again. See if I've missed anything. Okay, let me complete this laser barrier and show you how you can link to maps. So this is the default map that is available. So let me complete this Twilio. What is 2 plus 2, 4 hack? Hooray, completed. And the animation of the laser barrier opening up was also pretty cool. So if I walk through that door, it opens up in a new map. So if I go back to the code, there is under levels, under VR mission template, there is map directory. There's the default.json and spacegarden.json. So this is the spacegarden.json file. Let me open that up in file in tiled as well. New. Okay, open file or project. Open up Space Garden. So this is the Space Garden map that we're currently in. So how do you map? How do you like transition from one map to another? Is if you notice the exit property over here. This is the exit that helps you exit out of the map. So in that, the level name is the VR mission template that we're currently in, and the map name is Space Garden. So that it moves to the Space Garden map once you're done with it. And the player entry point is the player entry one. So if you go to the Space Garden map, there's the player entry one entry point over here. So that maps to the player entry point over here. So that's how you can transition between different maps. So once you've completed a bunch of objectives in this map, you can let the player move to another map and maybe change the environment for a different map. Yeah, so that's how you can change maps in TwilioQuest. Once again, the extension docs are pretty helpful. So let's suppose you're teaching how you can learn a particular programming language. The first thing that you want to do is check whether they have that particular programming language installed locally. So for that, you can check for their ask for the path of their language that you've installed and store it as an environment variable. So you can do that as well in TwilioQuest. Right. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I think we're pretty good to go. Let me see. Yep. This should take me back to the fog hole. Once again, thank you everyone who's joined us for this workshop. I really appreciate your time. I know it's pretty late, and if you weren't able to watch this, please watch the recording, or please feel free to reach out to me and watch the video on the extension docs. That should give you a pretty clear idea. If you did not get what I'm trying to explain, please watch that video. Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much, Avinash. I really appreciate you taking the time to give us that awesome workshop. That was super cool. A great introduction to this. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. See you again soon.
See you.